So you've probably heard this term floating around, right? Mumbai 3.0. It gets talked about a lot. This huge, city-defining project that's supposed to be the next big chapter for Mumbai. But what does it actually mean? Well, today we're going to dive in and decode what the future of this city really looks like.
And if you look at the glossy brochures from developers, or even some official reports, they're selling it as this grand, great leap forward. A gleaming, modern future for one of the world's biggest megacities. But is that the whole story?
And look, this isn't just talk. This whole expansion is being driven by some of the most ambitious infrastructure projects India has seen in a very long time. We're talking brand new airports, massive sea links, sprawling expressways, the whole shebang. But that's the real question, isn't it? Beyond all the marketing hype and the flashy headlines, what do the actual legally binding plans have to say? That's exactly what we're going to figure out in this explainer. We're going to separate the hype from the hard, documented truth.
All right, so first things first, let's get our terms straight. What exactly is Mumbai 3.0, and where does it even fit in the city's long history?
Okay, so here's the official definition. It's a greenfield expansion. Now, that's just a fancy way of saying they're building on largely undeveloped land, mostly around Panvel, Uran, and Raigad. Think of it like this. Instead of trying to cram more into the old, already crowded city, the big idea is to build a whole new city center from scratch right next door. And this slide, this really puts it all into perspective. So you had Mumbai 1.0, right? That was the historic island city. Then came Mumbai 2.0, the huge suburban boom after the 1970s, and now we're talking about Mumbai 3.0. It's a totally new frontier, a massive push into the surrounding region. It's the third, totally distinct chapter in how this city is growing.
Now, a plan this huge doesn't just happen on its own, right? It needs engines. I'm talking massive concrete and steel projects that make it all a reality. So let's take a look at the 4 key drivers that are powering this whole thing. First up, and this is the big one, the Navi Mumbai International Airport. And trust me, this is way more than just another piece of infrastructure. It is literally the heart of the entire strategy.
And I really want to stress this. In the official planning documents, they don't just call it an airport. They call it the single largest catalyst for the entire region. Everything else, I mean everything, is designed to orbit around this thing's massive gravitational pull.
Okay, next you gotta connect it all. And the Mumbai Trans-Harbor Link, the Atal Setu, is the absolute game changer here. It slashes travel time between the old city and this new region. Then you add in the Samruddhi Expressway, linking up to the rest of the state, and suddenly you've got the arteries for this new heart.
And of course, you can't build a modern city without rail. The Navi Mumbai Metro is expanding, with new lines being planned specifically to link up with the airport and other key areas. And that's happening alongside some major upgrades to the existing freight and suburban lines that are, let's be honest, the real lifeline of the region.
And finally, we've got water. Now, on the economic side, that means a huge expansion of the Jain port, which is already one of India's busiest. But what's really fascinating for people is a new plan for inland water transport. Basically a water metro, if you will, to connect the whole region and take some pressure off the roads.
So we have all these massive projects. But who's actually in charge? Who's managing this whole symphony of construction? Well, let's get into the planning blueprint itself, because this is where things get really crucial and, yeah, really complex.
So, this entire plan is managed under one key acronym, NINA. That stands for Navi Mumbai Airport Influence Notified Area. The simplest way to think about it is as a special development zone. It's run by a government body called CIDCO, and they have the power to shape basically everything that gets built here. To understand Mumbai 3.0, you absolutely have to understand NINA.
And this slide, this is so key to what we're talking about. On one hand, you've got the developer brochures. They show you what they hope will happen. It's market intent. But the real truth? The actual legal evidence of what is happening? Well, that's buried in these official documents, the CIDCO Gazette, the development plan, and the town planning schemes.
So, how does this actually work on the ground? Well, it's done through something called a town planning scheme, or TPS. It's pretty clever. Instead of just buying up land, the government authority pools a bunch of private land together. Step 2, they build all the infrastructure, roads, water, electricity. And then step 3, they return a smaller, but now fully developed and way more valuable piece of land back to the original owners. So, okay, the plan exists. The legal framework is in place. You'd think that getting a clear, complete picture of all this would be pretty easy, right? Well, that's what we thought too, and this is where our investigation took a really fascinating turn. We set out on what we thought was a simple mission: build a complete, totally verified picture of Mumbai 3.0 using only public official data. The big question was, can you actually piece together the whole story from the documents that are supposed to be available to everyone?
And here's the answer we got. We tasked a powerful research AI with pulling together everything, but only from official sources, and it came back with this. It was unable to present a complete, conclusive, and fully verified picture. Just let that sink in for a second. The official story is, well, officially incomplete.
And here's why it's so incredibly hard. The data is scattered all over the place. The only information you can really trust, those legal documents, are often these super dense, technical PDFs and map sheets. They're not something you can just easily search. Plus, everything is constantly changing. For an average person, it's a nearly impossible puzzle to solve.
So, you might be thinking, okay, why does any of this matter? It's just a bunch of bureaucratic paperwork. Well, this is why a story about fragmented data and dense documents is so important. Because here's the thing, Mumbai 3.0 isn't just some plan on a shelf. It is happening right now. It's legally defined, tenders are out, and construction is already underway. The city's future is being built as we speak, but the actual blueprints are incredibly difficult for any ordinary citizen or even a serious investor to fully access and understand. And that leaves us with one last, really critical question to think about. A new city is rising. The future is literally being built. But if the official blueprints are this hard to read, you have to ask yourself, who is it really being built for? And who actually gets to shape that future?